What's up, guys? In this episode, we're going to go over the future of tube amplifiers. Stay tuned. What is up, you guys? It's your boy Louie Torres, and we're going to talk about tube amplifiers. But I'm going to let you guys take a little time to get your own drink, brought to you in part by Presidente. So, legit, go get a beer. We're going to be here for a little while. So, this episode, I'm basically piggybacking on Glenn Fricker in what he mentioned the other day, how, for the most part, the future is going to rely mainly, I think mainly, just like he did, on the digital realm of recording guitar tracks. So, you know, everything he said was right on point, right? Legit, everything. I forgot how many points he had. Bullet points, maybe it was like 12 or something like that. And I watched the whole thing and I was just like, he nailed literally every aspect of it, from it sounding better, it's making it easier to record, much more consistent. Like, everything he said was right on point. Now, Glenn and I think I'm a year older than Glenn. So, you know, we're basically the same mindset, schooling, whatever. And the only thing that gets me, okay? And again, this is just my own personal take on digital versus amps. You see all these fucking amps that I have? Yo, I'm not selling these. And if I were to record, listen, the intro to my videos, I recorded that using did I use my Kemper? It wasn't even my Kemper, it was my Headrush. And dude, the Headrush pedal board is sick. And I talked to truck driver Shawn, he has the MX-5, absolutely loves it. So people, you know, you have the ability to record with digital, but you know, I'm jumping on what truck driver Shawn said, is you almost want those little nuances because that's what makes the amp, right? You know, you buy one amp from, let's say, a Marshall JCM 800 from 1985, that's going to sound different than mine from 1986, and it's going to sound different than another one from 1987. So guys will go out of their way trying to look for those little deviants, you know, those little deviant amplifiers that have a thicker tone or tighter tone. And, you know, sometimes they'll narrow it down to like a certain range of serial number. You can't do that with a Kemper. You can't do that with a Quad Cortex. You can't do that with an XFX. You can come close, but even if you were to get one of those heads that is known throughout the industry for being the head that's been around, you know, from one band to another, and it's known for its grit. You know, you guys have heard of all these varying Dumble amps and how, you know, some Dumbles from a certain year use certain components, and that's why they're different than even serial numbers from just 5 months later. You know, there's something to be said when you're using an actual amplifier, and you know, and Lord knows that Glenn has always been like, dude, whatever amp you have, whatever amp, whatever cabinet you pair it with, will sound completely different because now you're putting in another step in that game of recording, which is now the microphone. And then that, of course, will work its way with the frequency, and it'll some speakers sound different than other speakers, and some are broken in a little more, so it'll sound different. So when everything is said and done, you always try to look for that magic, right? And maybe because I'm old and I'm in my 50s, I sit back and I'm just like, yo, son, when it comes down to it, I'm recording with a goddamn amp, with a tube amp, even a solid state amp. Like, I don't care, but it's not gonna be, it's not gonna be my Kemper, okay? And I don't mean little projects, because that will always be a Kemper, right? Just because it's convenient. Dude, you know how easy it is to just take that thing and run it right into your DAW and done. There's nothing much you have to do. Like, I have all these settings on there, especially, Chris Reardon, that dude has the absolute best Kemper and quad cortex profiles that I sit back and I'm just like, listen, a 5150, I have one right there. What? I have another 5150 right there. I have a bunch of Peavies. I have a bunch of Mesas. I have a tower of Marshalls. I literally have them in my Kemper. And when I work with someone like Chris Reardon from Amp Guru, he's mental, dude. Like, the guy will spend weeks making sure that everything is tweaked, that it sounds exactly the same. He'll be like, dude, I'm going to grab a 5150 and then just hit it with 15 or 20 different pedals. But again, like I said, he's mental, but that's kind of the guy that you want to work with when you're trying to find great, not good profiles, because everyone makes good profiles. I'm talking about great profiles, like things that, the guy has a Meshuggah head and he will run 15 pedals through it, and he makes sure that every variant of the amp with each pedal is able, that he captures it, and you're able to dial that in any which way you'd like. If you're looking to record quick, super easy, dude. That's a no-brainer. Now, if you're going to do small things, you know what I mean? Like, you have to consider, when you're recording something, can you duplicate that sound when you're playing live? You can record with Kemper, but this guy right here isn't going to go on stage with a goddamn Kemper. Even if I take it and run it through a tube power amp and out to a 412 cabinet, I'm not doing that, son. Come on, bro. You serious? I would show up to a show right now with a Mesa full stack with not just a dual rectifier, but I'd have my triple rectifier. Even if it weren't on, I would still have that on there, just because, it's showbiz, right? What's showbiz without a little showmanship? And that's why I feel like things like a Kemper, it doesn't really, it doesn't capture the eye, too much. So there's definitely a bit of an ego thing when it comes down to you deciding if you want to go digital or if you want to record with an amp. Like, for me, again, like I said, if it was a small little project, again, the intro to my YouTube channel, I would use my Headrush pedal board all day long, or my Kemper, not even think, no doubt, like, not even a question if I would want to record anything here. But if I were in a band and I were touring or recording an album, like, bro, like, I would, at the time, if I wanted my tone to be my Fort and Cali out of a Mesa 412 cabinet with Celestion V30s and split with DV77s, like, I would tour with that. That's what I would use, and that's what I would record with. Even though there's that varying degree with the cones and recording with a certain mic, if you're using an SM57 or Sennheiser E906, you know, you're going to capture that tone, but ultimately what makes you happy, you know? And tube amps will always be in existence. You know, unfortunately, they're just going to be a little more expensive than they used to be. But that's life, right? You know, you want to buy a used car? Yo, son, you're going to pay a little more than before. Have a drink. Okay, so all of that wrapped up being said, in the comments below, I don't know, let me know what you guys think. You know, would you record with digital and then tour with a live rig? Yo, and these things aren't light. I get it. Bro, I'm in my 50s. Yo, it hurts to even do, you know, tricep dips or just dips. Like, dude, it's just, it hurts. It hurts. It's different than it even was 10 years ago. So I get, as you age, you know, these amps, you know, when you're younger and you're stronger, you can pick up an amp and be like, yo, this weighs like 5 pounds. Where are they getting 60 pounds from? Now the 60 pounds weighs like 160. That's why you got to work out a little bit. But, you know, again, in the comments, let me know what you guys think. You know, would you record digital and tour it with the digital rig? I know the guys from Cradle of Filth literally use, do I have any out here? Yeah, they use the More Radar, and although I have the More Cali Dual, they actually use, it's basically the equivalent of the 5153 version of the preamp pedal. So, you know, do you travel with something like that and record with that because it's easy and convenient? You know, everyone, listen, it's always going to be throughout the entire spectrum. So don't think I'm bashing anyone. I'm not. I'm just sharing what I would do. And in the comments, just let me know what you think, you know, or how you would go about your way of doing it, because, you know, maybe someone or myself will read your comment and be like, you know what, that actually makes sense. That's cool. Like for me, if I were to play live now, I would literally run guitar into, probably at this point, just because it's sick, the Synergy Sin 1 with, you know, right now I have the Engel Powerball, but I actually have the SLO module, the Deliverance module, and the Uberschall module coming in a few days. You know, I'll probably, you know, I would probably tour with something like that, run that to my KSR PA50, so that would kind of be my hybrid, right? And then run that out to full stack, or, you know, 2 412 cabinets. But it depends on the week. You know, if I'm just like, yo, I'm playing in my hometown, kid, what? Yo, we're not going to go through the Synergy route. We're going to go ahead and have 2 goddamn full stacks. I'm going to have a Mesa triple dual full stack on one side, and then I actually have I think it's like 7 Marshall 412s. So I would have another Marshall 212 cabinet, the A and the B, and then I'd probably have, you know, my JCM 800 and maybe my Fortin Cali actually playing through it, just because, you know, I think people will be like, oh, this motherfucker has a fucking goddamn Fortin Cali. What? Crazy, man. And then just play it stereo, or if I have another guitarist, which would be tough because I would want to punch everyone. Drink. Then, and then I would play, and then I'd probably bring like 10 guitars and put them all in the front, just because, just because, like, yo, son, does that dude have a whole rack of ESP guitars up on that stage? Yes, I do. So guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the absolute best. Hopefully you guys had a great Thanksgiving, and looking forward to the holidays. Just, you know, if you just recently celebrated Hanukkah, or even around the corner from JC Day, from Christmas, I'm going to put a link below also to Chris Reardon's page, so you can, if you're into Kempers or Quad Cortex or XFX, He actually has, seriously, like, dude, it's the absolute best profiles, period. Like, I find myself buying other people's profiles just to compare it, and I keep coming back. I'm like, Chris, you're gonna kill me, bro. I just bought these XYZ profiles from this guitarist, that guitarist, this company, but yours is still better. And he's just like, bro, why do you keep buying them then? I'm like, sometimes you got to compare, right? So again, Chris is the owner. He's out in Massachusetts. He is the owner of Amp Guru Profiles. But again, I'll put a link below. That way, you guys, if you have that, if you're in that digital realm already, then you're gonna absolutely love them. If you haven't and you've been considering getting into it, like, bro, like, it's crazy, all these, to be able to have an Uberschall profile that's running a say Pepper's Dirty Tree, and then I turn mine on running the Dirty Tree also. Like, dude, I'm just like, what? How did he capture that? Like, absolutely perfect. But he tweaks all of them, so it's definitely right on. So actually, the next video is going to feature my Kemper along with some of the newer profiles that Amp Guru Profiles just made. So make sure you guys check that. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't, you jerk. And I will see you in a little bit, because I'm going to make another video in a little bit. Just got to change my shirt. Guys, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. And as usual, I will talk to you soon. Drink. Done.